What if everything we've been told about the 2026 FIFA World Cup is only part of the story? For years, FIFA has presented this tournament as the biggest sporting event ever created, with more teams, more matches, more countries, and more fans than ever before. A competition so massive that it would redefine football forever. The official message has been clear from the beginning: World Cup 2026 is supposed to be a celebration of the beautiful game on a scale never seen before. But as the countdown to kickoff entered its final days, a completely different story began taking shape online. Instead of discussing tactics, title contenders, and star players, millions of fans were talking about ticket prices, travel costs, accessibility, affordability, and whether football's biggest tournament was slowly becoming a luxury event reserved for the wealthy. Across TikTok, X, YouTube, Instagram, and football forums around the world, one question kept appearing again and again: has the World Cup become more about money than football? The criticism didn't come from a single source. One fan posted a screenshot of ticket prices, another shared their experience of waiting hours in an online queue, while others uploaded videos explaining how expensive the trip had become for ordinary supporters. Individually, these complaints may have seemed insignificant, but together they created a wave that FIFA could no longer ignore. What made the situation even more remarkable was the fact that criticism started coming from unexpected places. Public figures, football personalities, and even individuals who had previously supported the tournament began raising concerns about the direction things were heading. The conversation spread rapidly. Every viral post introduced the issue to new audiences, every reaction video amplified frustration, and every shared screenshot became another piece of evidence for people who already felt something wasn't right. Soon, the discussion was no longer about isolated incidents. It had become a global debate. Many supporters argued that the World Cup was drifting away from the people who made it special in the first place. For decades, football has been celebrated as the world's game, a sport capable of bringing together people regardless of nationality, income, religion, or social status. The World Cup represented the ultimate expression of that idea. It was where lifelong dreams became reality, where ordinary supporters saved for years just to watch their country compete on the biggest stage, and where passion mattered more than wealth. At least, that was the perception. Now many fans feared that reality was changing. Families hoping to attend matches began calculating costs and discovering numbers far beyond their expectations. Flights, hotels, transportation, food, and match tickets combined into expenses that many supporters simply could not afford. For some, attending even a single match was becoming financially unrealistic. For others, attending the tournament at all was completely out of reach. The frustration wasn't just about money. It was about identity. Supporters questioned whether football's governing bodies still understood the people sitting in the stands. Did they understand the sacrifices fans make to follow their teams? Did they understand the emotional investment supporters have in the sport? Or had the World Cup become something different entirely? Social media became the battleground where these questions played out. Videos showing expensive ticket listings attracted millions of views. Fans shared stories of technical problems during ticket sales. Others described spending hours navigating complicated purchasing systems only to leave empty-handed. Some supporters claimed the seats they eventually received differed from what they originally selected. Whether every complaint was justified or not, the perception was clear. A growing number of people felt excluded from an event that was supposed to belong to everyone. Then another controversy emerged when FIFA announced plans for a major halftime entertainment show featuring internationally recognized music stars. The decision immediately divided opinion. Supporters of the idea argued that football needed to evolve and embrace modern entertainment to attract wider audiences around the globe. Critics disagreed. To them, the halftime show represented something much bigger than a musical performance. It symbolized what they believed was happening to football itself. A simple phrase soon began appearing everywhere online: "This is not football." Those words spread rapidly through comment sections, fan pages, reaction videos, and discussion forums. They captured a growing concern among supporters who felt that commercial interests were increasingly taking priority over football traditions. For decades, the World Cup had been defined by the action on the pitch, the players, the goals, the rivalries, and the atmosphere. Now some fans worried that entertainment spectacles, sponsorship opportunities, and marketing campaigns were becoming just as important as the sport itself. Whether that perception was fair or not hardly mattered, because perception often becomes reality in the age of social media. The more people repeated the criticism, the stronger it became. Soon supporter organizations and fan groups joined the discussion. Statements criticizing ticket policies and fan accessibility circulated online. Articles examining the economics of the tournament received widespread attention, while videos analyzing FIFA's decisions generated millions of views. What began as isolated complaints evolved into a broader conversation about the future of football. And that conversation extended far beyond World Cup 2026. Supporters questioned whether modern football was becoming increasingly disconnected from its traditional fan base. They pointed to rising ticket costs across club football, highlighted growing commercialization throughout the sport, and argued that ordinary supporters were slowly being priced out of experiences that once belonged to them. In many ways, the World Cup became a symbol of those larger concerns. Yet there was another side to the story. Not every viral claim proved accurate. Some social media posts exaggerated problems while others lacked evidence altogether. Rumors spread quickly and speculation often traveled faster than facts. Certain stories accumulated millions of views before journalists or fact-checkers had the opportunity to verify them. This created a complicated environment where genuine concerns existed alongside misinformation, legitimate criticism competed with exaggerated claims, and separating fact from fiction became increasingly difficult. Whenever inaccurate stories were exposed, supporters of FIFA pointed to them as evidence that critics were overreacting. They argued that social media rewarded outrage, that negative content naturally generated more engagement, and that many people were forming opinions based on incomplete information. Those arguments weren't entirely without merit. Social media algorithms often amplify controversy. Negative stories frequently outperform positive ones, and anger travels faster than nuance. But even after removing exaggerations and questionable claims, significant concerns remained. Ticket prices were still generating criticism, accessibility issues were still being discussed, and fan frustration was still growing. The broader conversation wasn't disappearing. If anything, it was becoming stronger. As a result, two completely different versions of the 2026 World Cup began to emerge. In FIFA's version, the tournament represented a historic triumph. Demand was breaking records, revenues were soaring, interest levels were unprecedented, and everything pointed toward the most successful World Cup in history. From that perspective, the event was already a success before a single ball had been kicked. But on social media, another picture was taking shape, a picture defined by skepticism, shaped by concerns over affordability, and fueled by the belief that football's biggest tournament was losing touch with ordinary supporters. Both narratives existed simultaneously. Both contained elements of truth, and both would soon face the ultimate test. Because football possesses a unique ability unlike almost anything else in sport, it can change the conversation instantly. One goal, one upset, one unforgettable moment. That's all it takes. History has demonstrated this repeatedly. Before previous tournaments, controversies often dominated headlines. Then the football started. A dramatic match, a stunning comeback, an iconic celebration, and suddenly the world was talking about something else entirely. The sport itself took control of the narrative. The question now is whether World Cup 2026 can do the same. Can football once again become bigger than the controversy surrounding it? Can unforgettable moments on the pitch overshadow months of criticism and debate, or have the concerns grown too large to simply disappear once the action begins? The answer remains uncertain. What is certain is that billions of people will be watching, not just the matches, but also the atmosphere, the crowds, the reactions, and whether the promises match reality. Because this World Cup carries expectations unlike any before it. It is expected to be the biggest, the richest, the most watched, and the most ambitious tournament football has ever seen. But size alone does not guarantee success. Revenue alone does not create memories. Attendance figures alone do not inspire passion. Ultimately, the legacy of World Cup 2026 will be determined by something far more powerful: the experience it creates, the emotions it generates, and the stories it leaves behind. Years from now, fans won't remember spreadsheets, financial reports, or marketing campaigns. They will remember moments. They will remember goals, celebrations, heartbreak, and perhaps most importantly, how the tournament made them feel. That is why the coming weeks are so important. Because once the opening whistle blows, the debate enters a new phase. The conversation shifts from promises to reality, from projections to performances, and from expectations to outcomes. The world is about to discover whether the 2026 FIFA World Cup becomes remembered as the greatest tournament ever staged, or as the moment millions of football fans began questioning the future direction of the sport they love. One way or another, history is about to be written, and the entire world will be watching.